Hey guys, this is David Nguyen with the Mortgage Edge podcast brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage. Today, I have a very special guest all the way from Florida around the St. Augustine area, Demi Judd. Demi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, I always start every show with how the heck did you become a realtor? How long have you been a
Oh,
realtor? Give us a background. How did this amazing story start?
it actually started right after I had my daughter. So before here, I was a wedding planner and I love doing my job. I love being a part of big moments in people's lives. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know how to still impact people, but still be a mom. Met my husband. He already had a 4-year old and I wanted to be able to be more involved. Now I'm just super busy from home a little bit more. It looks way different than I think I ever imagined, but got into it. I had a friend who told me I should be his assistant. Had an interview and he's like, I don't think you should be my assistant. And I was like, oh, I already got fired. And I just started. And he's like, you'd be an amazing realtor. He's like, you need to get your license. And had my daughter and immediately was like, okay, I want a career. I want something that actually means something. And I was like, I don't really like the vibe, how you imagine car salesmen, basically
Oh
agents.
yeah.
And I was like, how can I not be that? Like, how can I make this more of an impactful industry? And there's so many ways it could be impactful. And so I'm honored that now I'm going in my 5th year. So I completed 4 years, and just how much it has impacted others' lives and my own life as well.
Well, I think you found your calling because you have a gift for real estate. You've done more in the last 4 or 5 years than a lot of real estate in the last 20 and 30 years. I've seen your numbers. Our audience doesn't know, but I mean, you're a superstar. You joined the industry on the declining. I mean, when you started, it was booming, and then we've hit the last 3 years of the toughest real estate market out there. But your numbers don't show that. What is it that you just aren't aware?
I do think that ignorance is bliss and that,
Yes.
I mean, when I got my license, that was August of 21, so no one was hiring a brand new agent to negotiate
No.
multiple offers. So my first deal wasn't until December of 21, and even then, like, my first listing I got on my own from social media, and it was March of 22 I got that, and so it wasn't really until, like, June when I really popped off, and I feel like that's what so many people have, like, the misunderstanding of real estate. Like, if I don't have something in 30 days, then or 90 days I'm like, sometimes it takes 6 months, sometimes it takes a year, I call it pop off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit. And, but I think ignorance is bliss because every time a year would complete and they're like, you did so well. Like this was one of the toughest years in a while. And then the next year would happen. They're like, you did so well. It was one of the toughest. I was like, when does it get better? I was like, why does it keep getting worse? Like, thankfully I'm failing well, but I'm also like, wait, why is every year the worst year? When do we have a good and, like, everyone talking about next year and
Right.
everyone feels this momentum, and I was like, "Oh, no, I need to hire." Like, this is what they all
Yeah.
warned me about, and I was like,
You know,
we need to build this team."
that's awesome. I think ignorant is bliss because again, no one told you. And you said something that's very interesting. For a brand new agent, your first client was off of social media. How the heck did you do that?
That was because I mean, here's the thing, especially when you're entering into the industry,
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know. Experience is gonna get you there with a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, especially this one specifically. No matter what you learn, no matter how many years you're in school, no matter I've been doing this 40 years, it changes all the time. And so I think what I knew is the only thing I could sell. So I didn't know real estate. If you watch my old videos, it's actually funny. I will probably confuse everyone who's been in the industry confused about the industry because I didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't know how to add value. I just knew read a script and go. And I was like, I can't read a script and go, but I do know the area. I'm born and raised. I'm actually sitting in a building that's across from where I was born, physically born, like my hospital's right there. And it's just, I knew St. Augustine. So if I'm an expert in the area and being a local, they'll know me, like me, trust me to do the real estate transactions. So I saw this lady, she was selling a bunch of stuff. And I was just like, hey, I'm so sorry. It seems like you're going through something. I'm here if you ever need anything. That's all I said. Didn't say I was interested in anything. Didn't even know she had a house to sell, nothing. And she actually recently fired her realtor who had her house on the market. And we chatted. She wanted to buy a piece of land. We were chatting about that. And she's like, I need to sell my house first. But I don't have a realtor anymore. And I was like, oh, I happen to be one. And it was the relationship. So I realized relationship building and add value immediately. Um, and I was there for her. I helped list her house. And just from me being a human and just saying, hey, if you need anything, I'm here and I'm local. And so that really just turned into a listing appointment that turned into a purchase and a sale.
Was it was it on a platform, or did y'all friend each other, or y'all on a
Well,
page?
like a Facebook swip swap page. She was just selling stuff. And I was just like, I'm gonna slide in her DMs because I have nothing to lose. Like no
Right.
one knows who I am. So that was the first. And then I realized how powerful social
Social
media
media.
was on that realm. Yeah.
And how are your leads coming from social media now? Are you
Good.
attacking it?
I am attacking it in different ways. Last year, if you would have told me that I was doing YouTube as often as I do, I wouldn't believe you. In December of last year, my coach said, take your YouTube seriously.
Yep.
And I was like, Instagram's my thing. And she's like, mm-mm, you're missing out. And so I started taking it seriously. I batched a lot of content. In March, I started taking it seriously. I've had 17 leads from YouTube since March.
Since March, just
Since
this
March.
year. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I tell people all the time. I talk to agents from all across the country, from all walks of life. People
Hmm.
who've been in the business 5 years, 10 years, 15. There's a reason why the coaches around from every real estate coach is saying, get on video, get on
Yep.
TikTok. People. None of us like how we look on video. None of us like how we
But
look. But you
I
know what? It's
do.
the way you look. Someone said to me a long time ago, hey, when you go to the grocery store, do you put a bag over your face? No, no one does that. So it's the same thing. Get out
You
there,
don't do
get
that?
on
I'm
video. Yeah, right. You need to, but some of us need to. But I mean, I just think that you know what? It's the secret sauce. Demi, I'll tell you this. I had a guy that I interviewed. Uh, he was 3 years from Cuba, an immigrant, came here with nothing in his pocket, started real estate in 1 year. In his first year, did 100 transactions off of social media.
Mhm.
So the power of social media, it's an amazing, and I love talking to agents like yourself that go and because this is trade secrets that you can teach to other agents out there. And you know this from being in real estate. How many of your agents that you talk to are scared to get on video or scared to put it
Oh,
out there?
so many. They're just like, "Oh, well, I need the right filter. I need this, or what am I gonna talk about?" And I'm like, some people just wanna hear stories. Like,
Yeah.
the best ones that I've had even or like, I did the same thing. So, like, I'm gonna call myself out. I didn't wanna start YouTube because I'm like, I don't have the production. I don't have the lights. I don't have the camera. I don't have the whole entire thing. I don't have the get up. But I how many clients I've gotten from the video that of me just sitting in my office on my chair, just saying, "This is why I chose real estate." And
Mhm.
so many people that are just like, "You're just human." Like, I have people who, as much as I wanna do the production, and I probably will get to that at some point, and I probably will have some videos like that, but even I was talking to my assistant last night, and I was like, "I'm just gonna cozy up with a blanket and a hot cocoa and just, like, talk to my camera." And I was like, because all my people feel like they're in the room with me. And I was like, I think that is my niche, my difference. Because I was like, they'll tell me about all the people that they're watching that are local. And I'm like, why aren't you choosing them? And they're like, we just feel like we're a part of your family. Like we just feel like we're in your office with you and we're just hanging out. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that that was so highly desired, but I'll do it all day long.
Well, Demi, you definitely give a great vibe out there. The more you're out there, you're putting your true, authentic self out there, the good, the bad, and everything else. So that's what people are attracted to. We all want to see the real you. I know I do, and I know everybody else is out there. Why? I mean, I say it all the time. Why is reality TV the number one genre the last 20 years? Because people want to see authenticity, right?
Hmm.
Well, let's get back to real estate in the Florida market. How's it going out there? What's the biggest shift you've seen in the market in the last 6 to 12 months? Because I'm always curious because different pockets of the country have different things. Florida has always been booming, but let's talk about the slowdown and what we're seeing out there the last 6 and 12 months.
It's kind of like, have you ever been to Disney and been on the Slinky Dog ride and it's going like this a lot? So that's
Yeah.
how it's been because I feel in the beginning of the year, quarter one, Quarter 2, we got hit pretty hard. It
Yeah.
was not nothing was going, like, we just came to a halt. I feel like a lot of sellers had whiplash and trying to get used to that, immediately went into buyer's market over the summer. Like,
Right.
homes are flying off the shelves, prices were getting dropped significantly, and, like, just trying to basically play catch up with the market. But then as we're entering into Quarter 4, we have a completely different market. It's more of a balanced market in our area, at least in Northeast Florida area. We have a bunch of businesses coming in 2026 to like 2030. We have a
Yep.
bunch of like the tech industry coming here. Just infrastructure in general is just really gravitating towards the Jacksonville area. And of
Yep.
course, Johns County, we have the families that are being relocated because of all that infrastructure going on. So I'm seeing a lot more pickup. I have a lot more listings flying off the shelves than I did before. So I'm seeing inventory really, I guess, a lot of people take it off during the holidays in general.
Hmm.
But I do think it's going to be crazy in Quarter 1. Like I know Quarter 1 ending of Quarter 1, beginning of Quarter 2, I have 13 listings going live. That's just
Oh,
what
they haven't gone live
I
yet. They're going live in Quarter 1 too.
yeah. And so that's just pipeline. That's not even me lead generating for listings. That's not anything. It's just everyone who I'm like, hey, this is because I strategize with my sellers. And so I'm like, does this make sense? And I was like, here's what the years have done the past 5 years in your area during this time of year. Quarter 1, it's always popped off. Last year it didn't. I was like, here's this track record and the stats that everyone's saying. I was like, it's not just me. Here's like, all the data saying that Quarter 1 next year is gonna be crazy. And I was like, and last year it was a weird year. We were adjusting. We
Yeah.
just had huge change within our government. So everyone was expecting one thing, but it's like, hold on, there's the way you get fruit when you try to pick from a fruit tree. Are you gonna pick from the very top? No, you're probably gonna work your way up. So there's low-hanging fruit that needs to be taken care of before everyone thinking this massive change is gonna happen overnight when it doesn't. And thinking that other elements of, like, just, I guess, government officials, everything would affect it. And I'm like, hold on, those things don't actually affect the housing market. We need to be very clear on different levels of what affects the housing market and what doesn't. But what have we seen? I've seen a lot of buyers get really good deals recently, like
Hmm.
crazy deals. Even on my listings, I'm seeing things. I'm like, if you guys would have just like price drop when I told you to price drop, maybe we would have gotten more money. I was like, this buyer's getting a killer deal. And I'll even like tell the buyer's agent, I was like, your person's getting a really good deal. I hope we're all understanding this. Um, but it's been nice for my buyers. My first time home buyers feel like they actually have a shot now.
Well, let's talk about that. What's the one mistake first time home buyers are making? Because I think there's a mindset shift. It's been a buyer's market for so long, and it's slowly not becoming a buyer's market. The sellers are days on market are used to it was 60 to 120 days, and now it's starting to dwindle down a little bit. So
Yeah.
what
Like I have
what
one
are
that's things right now. It's crazy.
yeah, what are some mistakes that buyers are they expecting all the all the seller concessions, fix this, fix that? What is it that you're seeing out there that expectation wise that's not
That
relevant, that's not true with the market
move-in
today?
ready is really a requirement almost for a lot
Oh
of them
yeah.
right now. Like, and I don't mean move-in ready, like have things like updated, fully updated. They're like, how did they not redo the shower? And I was like, you redo the shower. And or like, why are they wired the cabinets to the ceiling? And I was like, not everyone wants that. And so it's just like little, like almost like my problem that I have. I'm OCD when I go into resale
I am too.
houses. And
Mhm.
so when I go in, I'm like, the baseboards need a little bit more caulking. Like it's a resale home. Like it's not new construction. Like I see new construction all day. I see the shiny, I see the new. There's pros and cons to new construction though. And so
Sure.
I feel like a lot of buyers, the issue is everyone's wanting 2% because my generation, that's when we started looking at homes, was when for an anomaly happened to 2%. I feel like they don't understand that. So that's a big misconception that they have that it's going to go back down to twos. Like I had one tell me the other day, they're like, well, it's going to be twos next year. And I was like, where are you getting your data? And I was like, no offense. I want to know where you're getting your data because I would love to tell people it's going to be in the twos. And I was like, also,
Yes.
I are hiring buyer's agents if we're getting in the twos. Like I'm going to be slammed. And so having them come to that realization, I think is one thing. And then also jumping on it. Like, I feel like with houses starting to go, like I was in multiple offers for ones that sat for, I had a listing set for 3 years, multiple offers. And so I was like, your buyers don't have the time to wait 2 weeks on a decision anymore. Like they just don't.
No.
I'm just do your due diligence period. Make sure you have an agent who's going to be able to help you with that due diligence period and walking through things and knowing the stuff, making sure you're making a good decision. I'm not telling you to jump on it and don't think. It's your agent's job to make sure that they help you think through those things that you're not thinking of. But there's just they need to work faster, especially quarter one. You need to move fast. You need to see it fast. And you can't have, analysis paralysis. Like if you do, you're going to be mad. You're going to miss it. I always tell my buyers if they're like, let's think on it. I was like, will you be mad if tomorrow it's under contract? And they're like, oh, yeah, I'd be bummed. And I was like, okay, then I was like, do we need to see it again? And I was like, we'll do it right now. And I was like, but you need to make a decision. Like, we need to know, like, what conversation do I have? Now agents are scared to give feedback because agents are getting sued for feedback. Have you heard about all that
Oh yeah,
craziness going?
it's, all this NAR stuff, it's just
It,
crazy, but you can't
it's
be scared
wild.
of that.
Yeah. But,
So
um,
so
but
so
yeah,
what's
I
the
think
number one go ahead.
that's what they're dealing with is they're not making the decisions. They're not pulling I don't wanna say that. I don't wanna say like, they're not pulling the but, they're really not, like, they're just sitting there and saying, "Oh, well, the house will still be there. Oh, well, rates are gonna drop." There's always it's really hard to say that you're gonna get off the fence when clearly your pants are hooked to it, and it's like you
Yep,
need to let it go. Like, if rates drop, by all means refinance. And a lot of lenders are offering like a 6-month buffer or,
yep.
18 buffer where they're like, hey, if it does end up dropping, we'll waive this fee or X fee. Get with a good lender who will do that right here. And so it's like, there's people who will work with you who want you to pay less. We just don't want you guys to miss out on an opportunity. And so I feel like a lot of it is analysis paralysis and then, well, rates are going to drop because they think 2% was a norm when it's never happened in history.
Well,
Besides,
the stats are showing that 69% of buyers are gonna buy in 2026. And some other stats in the fourth quarter this year, it's been a 15% increase from previous years. So the momentum of fourth quarter this year has the house buying has been crazy, crazy,
yep,
crazy. So
yep.
it's they hear from us, and I'm glad we're doing this podcast, and it'll be out probably by next week. But it's coming. We've been saying this for 3 years now. Hey, the market's starting to shift. Well, it is shifting because buyers aren't waiting anymore. They're actually pulling the trigger because they realize that if they don't, there's going to be they're not going to get a house. At the end of the day, with as much inventories out there, there's still an inventory shortage. There's not enough inventory for the amount of buyers that's out there, and eventually that's going to catch up with us probably at some point in 2026. So
Yep.
get the buyers out there. So with that being said, how do you get your leads? Where's your leads
My
coming from? You
pillars,
said, huh?
I have a couple different pillars. So social media, obviously YouTube has become a big one this past year. And I'm
Hmm.
really pouring into it. So I actually just did a whole entire business structure plan of like where are my buyers coming from? What am I doing here to even take out some that were lead pillars last year?
Hmm.
But social media is still like ranked high on it. I'm getting a lot of
Oh yeah.
referrals. And that's agent to agent referrals. So I am in Tom Ferry coaching. So I'm at Tom Ferry coaching, and then I'm now with Keller Williams. And so just the agent to agent referrals and building those relationships to have
Yep.
more of like a genuine, like warm person. And also people, if I referred you someone, who I am, you're like, they're
Yep.
probably gonna be great. They're gonna be, well, especially because I'm someone, if you do something wrong the first, I'm like, nah, we're good. Like, we'll just, we'll try that again in a few months. Like, learn. Um, sorry, like, I left my water out there and my throat knows it. Um, and then, but social media is a big one. And that's even on Instagram and me posting on Instagram, me doing YouTube, and then also the group pages. Like being on all of those, that's really how everything started was a locals guide that I created that broke down the St. Johns County area that I provided.
Hmm.
Agent to agent referrals, building those relationships, calling those agents and letting them know about my area, but also adding value to them on their area. And then another big one, I'm in part of a BNI. So BNIs are really helping. I've closed about 3 and I've joined in June. So BNI has been doing well. And then my bridal shows. That's my back pocket one. No one ever thinks
That's the
of.
secret sauce right
That's my
there. Tell me
sauce.
about that bridal show and how you getting those leads.
I am just I'm a TikTok at a bridal show. So I am an expo. I'm an exhibitor. So I'm there with all the other bridal vendors. and my background in wedding planning I use. So then like I kind of could connect with them on that level and like, hey, I know where you're coming from. And like I used to do decor, like and stuff like that. So I would be able to create these elaborate booths and like with themes. And so how Disney does it. I love Disney if you can't tell. Um, but how Disney does it for everyone else, like they're pumping the popcorn smell through Main Street so that you would want popcorn. I don't know if you knew that about Disney,
Oh
but
yeah.
they actually have scents that go through the park so that you would be honestly in this whole entire nostalgia. Well, at my booths, I do it as well. So I have chocolate covered espresso beans and then I have coffee beans like on my booth. So then they'd think of me and they'd come back around and try to smell the coffee. And then I give away an espresso maker. So that's my lead capture. So I use Flowdesk is my favorite lead capture. Um, they scan a QR code, join the lead capture, and some important things to know, like about the bridal shows. I can go like so in depth with these. I love it. It's one of my passions. It's definitely something that like I'd love to coach someone on how to do them because they're so fun. But I do them 4 times a year. I decorate the booth. I have the espresso beans. I have everything like that, but I'm not behind a table. And I feel like that's where a lot of people, if they end up doing bridal shows or they end up doing exhibits, I learned from a luxury line that I should not be behind a counter. I am supposed to be in front of the counter to have this connection with the clients and with the brand. And so I knew that I'm the brand for my real estate career. And so I was like, okay, I just need to build a relationship. And I've watched people like even they get behind or like, away from the table and they're like, I couldn't get their attention. I was like, well, what'd you say? And they're like, do you want to buy a house? And I was like, oh God. I was like, that's a first date saying, how many kids do you want? And I was like, you don't do that. Like, we
Exactly.
we need to slow down. And I was like, the first question is like, hey, do you want to win an espresso maker? It's completely no obligation, but you can actually sign up to win one. Then I'm getting them signing up. I immediately want their contact information. That's all I want. And
Yeah.
so we're connecting there so I can actually follow up with them later because they're walking by. There's like thousands of people walking past me. So it's like, how can I get their attention? I do that. And I also give like a little handout. So I have really cute little heart shaped retro sunglasses. And of course, they want them. The brides want the white ones, the girls want the blue ones. And then I give little hair bands that say to have and to hold your hair back. So like I have different like touches. So then like if I do miss them and they don't sign up, it's still a touch that'll be a part of them somehow. And but while they're there, that's when I'm like, when's your wedding? Oh, when's this happening? And that's all in the lead capture information. So my flow desk I'm asking for their name, I'm asking for their phone number, email, address, and I'm asking for address. I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna drop this off to the winner's house. I'm really doing it because if they own a property, I want to know. And if they're a renter, it tells me if they're a renter, if they're looking to buy a house. So like I'm already getting their contact, like what basically their profile is. And then I'm getting their wedding date. So that tells me to write a card on their wedding date. Hey, congratulations on this next endeavor, or it's their anniversary, happy anniversary. And just being a part of those, already starting to get part of those big moments. So then I'm an
Mhm.
automatic thought. And then they'll get cards throughout the year. They'll get the follow up. Like there's so much that goes in the bridal shows, but those are amazing. And I meet first time home buyers. I work with couples. I work with the family members who are there at the event celebrating or relocating because they're getting married. They know grandkids are on the way. But I mean, bridal shows are definitely something that is overlooked. And I think that it's a huge opportunity because you're creating a standard at that point. My brides have literally said, we don't know if we can ever go with another agent because we don't know any agent like you. Like we're doing the client events where we're meeting 4 times a year, going to Top Golf, going to the movies, going to like other events together. So like I'm catering to them and teaching them how an agent should be and how this should be honestly, they'll never go back. It's kind of like when you have filet mignon, like how can you go back? Like
You can. You
you
can.
can't. And so it's like
Yeah.
filet's filet. So or you try Disney and you can't go back.
Yeah. So whenever you're advertising at these wedding things, are you advertising as Demi the realtor, or are you
I'm
not
doing
saying
Demi Judd
anything?
Realtor. So I am
Okay.
advertising as myself. I'm not advertising as my brokerage because I want to write it off. I do have all my marketing on my brokerage so that
Hmm.
I'm legally in compliance so that I can legally write it off.
Yep.
But I'm not advertising saying, hey, Keller Williams. No, I'm advertising. Keller Williams didn't pay for that. I'm advertising on Demi Judd. I am trying to basically sell a relationship and be with them and know them, like them, trust them. So I have like a little backboard, and all I've been doing, I shifted from like I did Taylor Swift theme during her Eras tour, and then I still keep the coffees, but coffees in the morning, so it's very homey. So I actually have been focusing more on relationship with my booth design. So like I have a wall that looks like the really pretty backdrop for a house and has like the little lights and the pictures, but they're pictures of me with my clients, like me with my brides and grooms who just closed, me with, because I do a free photo shoot for them because their husbands are not happy because they're like, we just did a bunch of photos. But we'll do an at home photo shoot because one, then I'm getting content and I'm getting photos of my clients that are professional,
Okay.
but then also I'm able to like almost like showcase a story of like, helping them through that and being a part of that big moment. I mean, I'm now bridal shows are my favorite. I mean, YouTube clients are too. I love all my lead gen because I love the people it produce it, but like I'm going to baby showers. Like one of my clients, I am like the godmom of one of the babies now. Like it's the relationship that's just like so deep and so rich that I feel like not many people get to experience, but I'm so blessed too.
You're giving so many nuggets for agents out there. You're not just giving nuggets for first time home buyers, but to other agents out there. These are great nuggets out there. Let's talk about one of your crazy stories. Tell me a crazy story about a transaction that you closed.
Well,
How did
what
you
kind
pull it
of
off?
crazy are we trying to do?
Huh?
What kind of crazy do you want?
You tell me, because we all know there's all sorts of real estate stories. What's the craziest closing that you've had? Everybody loves to hear those.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes I black them out. It depends
Yeah,
on
yeah,
how
it's a trauma. You don't want to go back and revisit it, right?
I mean, there's been 2 sides. I mean, there's been buyers who literally at the home stretch needed to owe something and couldn't do it. But we were somehow able to make it happen through moving things around, either that be financially or, I mean, I've blessed a family one time because it was so, I mean, literally, it was crazy. It shouldn't have happened. I've had, oh my gosh, I've had buyer's agents when I'm the listing agent just show up and not even tell them, like, they're just like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna view the property again." And I was like, "You put it into showing time." And they're like, "Oh, well, that's not how I've had to do it before." And I was like, "How long have you been doing this?" Dealing with crazy stuff like that, I have had, like, transactions that got pushed 4 weeks out, kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And somehow, I mean, no matter what, in any crazy situation, um, it's mainly is, how can I fix it? I'm such a problem solver. Um, I'm very lucky because that's in my nature and that my job allows me to do that because fixing people I get to do for a living and fixing their problems and no one gets mad at me for doing it. I think I'd be a horrible therapist because I'd be like, here's how you solve it. Or like, have you tried this? It just wouldn't- I can be a therapist to listen, but then I'm also like, can I solve it though? Um,
Right.
but, I mean, no matter what, at the end of the day, it's just no matter how crazy it gets, buy side, sell side, um, any crazy story, it's mainly it's the support. You need to be there supportive and you need to see their pain point. I had a seller recently call me, they were listed with another agent, and I was like, "Tell me everything, just unload." And they're like, this, and this. Like, she's not doing this. We didn't feel like we got represented. Our neighborhood's in this neighborhood. I feel like that's what sells it. And I was like, okay, so you don't feel like it was properly marketed because you want to showcase XYZ. And then you also are frustrated because the line of communication, you had to reach out every time. And I was like, okay, so it's just literally problem solving all of that. The only other crazy thing that happened recently is I had a piece of carpet removed from a new construction. That was weird. Like
That's
I
kind of
walked
weird. Yeah.
in, final walkthrough, 12 by 12 square was missing of
Yeah.
the carpet. We don't know. I think it was the painters. I have my theories. I think the painters accidentally got paint on the floor because they just touched up and it was suddenly missing. It was too perfect of a square. It was sketchy. But that got solved. My clients are perfectly fine. They're like, I mean, it's new construction. They have to fix it. And I was like, correct.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, nothing crazy. Thankfully, I have no explosions. And I have a great team behind me. If anything did, no one would ever know about it.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about that. So, is it just you, or do you have a team now already in place?
I have a SEAL team is what I call it. So I have people who support me,
Hmm.
so that I can still be in front of people because I'm not ready to let that go yet. The big satellite dream, probably I'll eventually have to let go. But I have a transaction coordinator and then I have an operations manager because I definitely need someone to control me. And then I'm now working on getting 2 showing agents so that I can have that, but still be Demi Judd and be a part of everything.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You're 2026. I think you're gonna definitely need some help with
Yeah.
the amount of leads that are just coming in. Well, with
Yeah.
that being said, I know that we could sit here and talk to you all day. What should we have talked about that we didn't talk about today?
Hmm. I would say personal branding. I think personal branding is super important, and I think that that's where agents are gonna be separated differently in 2026. I think it kind of almost ties everything in a bow. Like, no matter what your lead gen, everything like that, everything comes back down to branding. So really working on, possibly coaching if you guys took out of coaching for a while because the market was rough, I'd highly recommend, like, coaching for agents, and then also just having your own personal brand. It's not about your brokerage anymore. No one's caring about where you're at. I have tons of people who don't even know where I'm at. Because it's Demi Judd. They know the level of service that they're going to get from me. It's not what they get from my brokerage. I mean, of course I have the support, but I can they know that I'll handle on my own.
That's awesome. Well, if the people in Florida want to find you, whether it's buying, selling, or leasing, how do they get a hold of you, Demi?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so perfect. Phone is the best, honestly, text or call. And I work the Jacksonville, Northeast Florida area. So it's St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra, St. John's, and Jacksonville. So anyone in that area that you may need, my phone number is 904-667-9075. And then also you can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram at the St. John's FL Realtor. And then I'm at Living in St. Johns County on YouTube as well.
And if you're watching that live, folks, you saw that go across the lower thirds. Well, Demi, thank you for being with us today. You had given us a lot of insight into the market and for agents out there, a wealth of knowledge. I think 2026 is going to be great for you and everybody in the Florida and Jacksonville area. Well, I'm David Nguyen. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast. Thanks for being with us today, guys. We'll see you next time.